One. Hello, everybody listening to the Fairweather Podcast. Boy 2K Suave. I'm here with Alex Rodriguez, and we got some special guests in the building. Townie Sports is back. We are excited. We miss you guys. You're always avoiding us. Apparently, I'm always avoiding you guys, but
yeah, that's the way it is.
Welcome.
That's the most Max Kellerman shit I've ever heard on here.
Whoa. Whenever we talk about Max Kellerman, it's you, bro. It's always you, Mr. Hot Take himself.
Love it.
And you got Mike White in your background, A-Rod. What's going on with that?
Hey, man, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer.
First USF player in the Hall of Fame before JPP can get there, man. So makes me happy to see that.
Is he our only guaranteed? Like, no, seriously though, is JPP like our only guaranteed like Hall of Famer? Is he a guaranteed Hall of Famer?
I would say he is. You know what they should put in there? The club. They got to put the club in there if they do. I need that club.
Now leave that club alone, man. That was a freak accident.
Yeah, poor guy.
And of course, it happened in Brandon.
Of course, it happened in Brandon. Like, where else would it happen?
Nothing good happens in Brandon.
But what's going on, Townie? How's your week going?
Well, if you look at the Celtics, not so good. But other than that, it's been all right. That debilitating loss against the see, I don't want to remember it, but
the Bulls.
The Bulls. It ruined my watching Celtics. So now every time I watch the Celtics fourth quarter, like last night they were up on the Magic like 17 points in the third quarter, and I was just bracing for collapse. So
I'll
it's
admit,
been like that.
I'll admit, like when you're playing the Magic, you that's a guaranteed W. So you have nothing to really worry about. But that Chicago thing, big yikes.
Oof.
Anyway, A-Rod, what we got today, A-Rod?
All right, so today on episode 43, we are pretty much just going to do open discussion. We're going to discuss NFL with Townie, NBA with Townie, and of course MLB with Townie, because why not have good sports dialogue all day? But NFL, we'll talk about the week 8 recap of the Pickems that we did. Your boy's in the lead now. I hate to say it, KK.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, damn. I think I went one for 5 or whatever.
You went 2. You went 2.
Okay,
2 for 5.
Not bad.
I went 4, but it's all good. All love. We'll talk NFL injuries, trades, hot topics. It's been a really crazy week in the NFL for a lot of things. And then we'll just open discussion. And once again, NBA, Scottie Pippen's being Scottie Pippen all over again. Some intriguing things have been said by one of your favorite Celtics players that Vic decided to give me a Max Kellerman take before you hopped on, Sammy. So we'll discuss that and open discussion once again. And then MLB, the greatest thing happened yesterday. The Astros lost.
Yeah.
The Braves win. We'll just talk about next season and open discussion. And then at the very end, fun segment, Pickems again for week 9. We'll hear what you guys have to say there as well. So let's kick it off. Really quick recap on week 8. I went 4 for 5. KK went 2 for 5. I'm beating him. That's all you got to know.
Cool.
So
I've been trying to let you get back into the game. So just
yeah.
Don't once week 13 hits, I'm gonna just take off on you.
17 out of 30 for you, and I'm sitting at an 18 out of 30. So looking good there. All I got to say about week 8. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. Even if he has COVID or not, man, he's a bad man. So that guy knows how to win. I told you he was going to do it.
You did, and you predicted it was going to be a field goal game too.
Yeah.
You didn't predict that AJ Green would not know where the ball was going to be at, though.
That was crazy.
So quick, though.
Yeah,
That was such a quick release.
Was it? I mean, it's listen. The way I was watching that play. They must have had some kind of missed dialogue inside the huddle because he wasn't even looking for the football at all. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know what you guys saw, but he was clearly not looking for the football in that game.
No, it was definitely miscommunication there. I mean, he, like you said, he wasn't even looking for the ball. And the Packers are currently, just for our betting friends out there, are 7-1 against the spread now. So some interesting stuff there.
And
they got a tough one coming up.
Yeah, they do.
Let's stay on that AJ Green topic. He used to play for the Bengals, and I know somebody's riding that Bengals wave. And hey, man, I hate this team with every bone in my body, but they want to, go out and break my heart and keep winning games. But hey, what happened to your Bengals, Vic? I know you're a closet Bengals fan.
So a couple things. First of all, the most egregious flag I've ever seen in my life. That helmet on helmet was horribly called. I think that needs to bring. We need to be able to review these kinds of calls like they do in college, right? Yeah. I don't know. I was surprised that they don't do it in the NFL. I mean, that was blatantly not helmet to helmet on the defense. If anything, it was on the offense. The defender was down low. The guy went down to go meet him, which still, I don't think it's a penalty on either side. He went down low to meet him. But I mean, that literally cost them the game. The Bengals get the ball back with 2.5 and 3 timeouts. And, that's a different story. I think we're talking about how Joe Burrow brought the Bengals back from the brink there. But also, Mike White had one of those games. That happens all the time when you see just some random guy off the street put up massive numbers, and then I'm sure he's going to take a big fat dump tonight. So,
hey man, you will refer to that man as Mike the Messiah White. Okay, yeah. That's what he is.
Hall of Famer. You've heard
Mike
White. My gripe with that take though, honestly, is that the game shouldn't have been that close in the first place. Helmet withstanding the Bengals, who the world was starting to anoint them as oh shit, the team that came out of nowhere. If they were that team that came out of nowhere and they were that good as we thought they were, and you're playing against a 5th string quarterback, it shouldn't have been that close in the first place.
I think it's more of a case of an any given Sunday situation where
I don't
you got a guy that nobody has any tape on. You have no idea what this guy is capable of.
Yeah.
And he comes out and has one of those games and kind of like what Vic said. I mean, it's yet to be seen what he's going to do tonight, right? Like he's playing tonight. So if he comes out, throws another 300-yard game, okay, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Be like, okay, maybe he's the real deal. But then we'll also look at, okay, well, the Bengals lost to a pretty decent quarterback, but I just think it was one of those things. Nobody's got any film. You have no idea what his skill set is. So
yeah. The epitome of a trap game, right? So they just came off that big win in Baltimore. They're still high off of that. They're thinking we're going to roll into New York and just swamp these Jets. I mean, a number of different factors go in here. I'm not worried about my Bengals. They have the Browns this week, which I have been saying all year are frauds. They're still frauds. They're always going to be frauds. And I think the Bengals are going to put down the Browns easily.
I have to admit that was my Super Bowl pick, and I'm out. I'm completely out on that. However, I was right that the Chiefs would struggle. That's why I picked somebody besides the Chiefs, and I thought it would be the Browns. But that whole situation, you have to remember that it's still Cleveland. Like Cleveland's still gonna Cleveland no matter what. Like, come on now. So that's my fault. But what do you think was more surprising though? Was it the Mike White thing against the Bengals, or was it Trevor Siemian against the Bucks?
No, I think the Siemian thing is something that people kind of expected, to be honest. Oh, not expected, but that Bucks defense is horrendous. If anything, the Bucks lost that game a few times with, number one, their penalties. It's an incredibly undisciplined team, and it's funny that both of the NFL's favorites, i.e. the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, both have 2 of the worst defenses in the league. Now, up front, the Bucks were able to get pressure last year. I'm not seeing that same kind of pressure that they were able to get this year. And that secondary it's like tissue paper.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
I heard, I don't know who, I think it was Kendrick Perkins. He said that he can go to like a retirement home and get 11 guys and suit them up, and they'll be able to score a touchdown on the Bucs defense and the Chiefs defense for that matter. So, and I believe it. I'm like, you can get,
both are terrible.
You can get 11
you're looking
guys.
at another situation too with the Saints, that their defense is actually really, really good this year. Very, very underrated, just because of so many of the issues they have on offense right now. That it kind of overshadows how good their defense is. I think last time I checked, they were like a top 3 or top 5 defense in the league. So, I mean, you account that with those 2 picks that Tom Brady threw, one for a pick 6, which ended up closing out the game. That was also, like Vic mentioned with the Bengals game. This is another situation. It was kind of a trap game. You know what I mean?
It's DeMario Davis, honestly.
You're welcome. You're fucking welcome.
Yeah, he's the real deal for sure.
He is. He's the best tackler in the game. Nobody's a better tackler. I always said it when he was with the Jets. He made Nobody got past if they got past the D line, they weren't getting past Demario Davis. He could be playing in the middle or he could be playing on the right. You weren't going left on him. It wasn't going to happen. But I think the Saints defense is carbon copy from last year. It's the same exact defense. They may have added some guys there, but it's the same thing. What happened to them is, they had the Bucs cards in the regular season, and then Mike Pless came on here and said it perfect. You can't beat a team 3 times, and when you play against the GOAT Tom Brady.
Ooh, say it again.
Happen.
I didn't think they heard you. You playing it too?
So the greatest of all time to play in the NFL is Tom Brady. I have said it. He's out. I've said it numerous times, but he's not going to lose in a game like that. He had their card. He knew where to throw the ball. He got Antonio Brown more involved like he should have, and they just did it. So Saints could beat him. Saints could do it to him again, and I guarantee if they meet him in the playoffs, Tom Brady going to shine.
Yeah,
they got a big hole. They got a big hole at the QB.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about it is that it still was Jameis. It wasn't Jameis was playing well, but he wasn't out there lighting it up. You know what I mean? So the fact that their team's going to be fine even without Jameis, because they still got. I'm not crazy about Taysom Hill, but he's still there. I think he's clearing concussion protocol, so he might be available. And then Trevor Siemian. He was somebody that was looked upon to be that next guy in Denver. So it's not like he's incompetent. I think he just, he sucks at the end of the day. But
suck for the Jets, that's for sure.
But when you're good in the trenches and you have some weapons, I think they need to go get OBJ. But if you have something to work with, then defense is going to hold you down. Defense wins championships. So they're fine. I think the Saints will still be fine.
I also think they're just the way that they're built. You can put any QB there and they can have success. You don't need them to do a lot. You got Kamara who's there to help out. Now you brought back Kamara's not a big route runner. He can do it, but all he's got to do is a little 15 and out and he's gone. And the receivers there right now, they're not any big time receivers. They're the worst. I think I looked at the stat yesterday. They're one of the worst passing teams in the NFL right now. They're not passing the ball a lot. So OBJ could definitely propel that, but will they even use OBJ right? Because he's not the guy. And honestly, what I see, because they've been saying Jameis Winston isn't going to be the guy. They're probably going to move on from him next year.
Of course, yeah.
What I see, just hear me out. Teddy Bridgewater comes back because he gets it. And one of the big name free agents is going to Denver. So recycled.
You can get a big name free agent to go to the Saints though. You could if they don't.
Aaron
Rodgers can go down there.
Russell Wilson. I guess that could happen. I could see that happening too. I just know Denver's in both teams are really in a win now type of offense and defense. So I could see them going anywhere. But you're right. But let's go on NFL topics. A lot of injuries. Big one for us in fantasy, and the whole world. If you love the Titans, Derrick Henry may not play this season again. They're saying he could come back, but dude's a freak. Michael Thomas. There is more going on there than just an injury. It's a lot going on there right now. So Michael Thomas,
he's definitely healthy. Trust me.
yeah, sure, he's definitely healthy. Who are some other big injuries that went down? You know it better than me, man. I didn't write it all down. So
who else went down? Well, JJ Watt's out for the season. We do know that.
Yeah, JJ Watt's out.
Who else was big? You want to count Baker Mayfield's shoulder? You can count that. He's still playing, but I don't think he's right.
Jameis Winston's hurt.
Jameis Winston's hurt. That's a big one.
Daniel Hunter's hurt.
Daniil.
Michael Thomas is set back, and I guess those are the really big ones out. Those are very detrimental to a lot of teams. You just lost your starting quarterback in Jameis. AP is now signed. He's going to be your starting running back, I guess, for the early downs.
Crazy.
Jeremy McNichols, product of Snoop Dogg Academy, is going to be out there catching the passes.
Did you see that picture with AP and Julio Jones on the same team on the same field working out? Does that make any if you would have told me this 5 years ago, they'd be playing for the Titans and AP's 37, 36 years old and Julio's playing for the Titans, none of that makes sense to me at all.
Well, and then none of the injuries, you also have people out like Calvin Ridley, who is taking a mental health break. AJ Green's out for COVID. You have
Aaron Rodgers is COVID too.
Aaron Rodgers with COVID. and Henry Ruggs killed somebody. So
yeah. I was trying to avoid saying his name on this show today, but yeah, Henry. No. Like, it's just because that situation is just a fucked up situation. The whole thing is just so bad. So, Henry Ruggs is he got cut for obvious reasons. So yeah, it's a lot of just stuff happened in a matter of a week, and it's kind of insane.
And then on top of that, you have trades. So you got Von Miller leaving the Broncos, where
that was wild.
Cornerstone forever. I told you he was going to get traded too.
You did. You were right. You were right. Not a hot take there.
Not a hot take, but I knew it was going to happen. I hope it didn't happen because I like him there. I thought he was going to be a lifer, but they moved on. Melvin Ingram's gone. He's now with the Chiefs. Big whooped. Sean Jackson is cut. Couldn't find a partner for him. And OBJ is just, we're seeing the writing on the wall for him. Like, he's good as gone. Yeah. And the Jets made a trade. We made a trade at the trade deadline. We got that the O lineman from the Chiefs, the one that decided not to play and went and go help Canada with COVID. Don't ask me his name. It's super French. Big whoop. We're going to the promised land, boys.
That was probably a salary dump for Melvin Ingram.
No, I mean, did you? First of all, I love Mike Tomlin, by the way. His press conferences are amazing. But yeah, he said we didn't want somebody who felt like they were being held hostage. And I guess Melvin didn't want to be there. So
hey, see ya,
adios. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, well, I mean, what do you think out of those? Like, what do you think like some of the bigger stories that you've been like paying attention to?
Who, me? I guess I'll go ahead.
Either one of you two.
I was there to talk. I haven't heard Sammy talk much. I want to hear much. I want to hear him.
So Sammy shaved all the hair off his face, so I think he forgot like how to speak or something.
I lost all my swag when I shaved it off, man.
He had to go fish a Red Sox hat, cock it to the side a little bit, look a little swaggy.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sammy? I mean, what do you think is going on? What's big right now?
I think that Von Miller trade is probably the biggest one. I mean, that's kind of obvious. I mean, you're getting a defense that is already really, really tremendous up front. I mean, honestly, on all three phases, the Rams are incredible, and now they're adding a guy who actually has. I didn't think that he was having that great of a season, and then looking into it, I'm like, wow, he's actually having a pretty good season. All things considered, that the Broncos weren't as good, but he was kind of still that workhorse on that defense and made that Broncos defense actually respectable to a certain extent. And now you're adding him to a Rams defense that was already just probably top of the league. And I mean, is there any doubt that the Rams are going to go all the way? I mean, it's questionable now. I mean, you got the Cardinals, of course. It's going to be really, really tough in that division. And then, with Russell Wilson coming back so late, who knows what's going to be happening in that division. But I mean, the Rams look really set up right now. Their offense is clicking. They finally have a quarterback. They just added an extra body on that D line. The secondary is tremendous as well. I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
You think they're better than the Cowboys?
Yes. Yes.
Somebody call Stephen A, please.
Yes.
I mean, that whole Cowboy thing is how I am. I'm Cowboy #1 hater, but it's real. That whole thing is real. I mean, they've gotten lucky, but when I saw Cooper Rush win against Minnesota, I mean,
crazy.
It was Kirk Cousins, but it was Cooper Rush as well. So it's like, okay, there's something here. There's obviously something here. Like the water is tasting good in Dallas right now. Jerry Jones is probably staying out of meetings. He's not bothering anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Moore is an amazing offensive coordinator. So to me, he's more valuable to that team than McCarthy is. So
yeah,
that Cowboy thing is real.
You could throw me or Victor on that Cowboys team, and we'd be able to throw it to Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. I mean,
yeah. It's really impressive. But yeah, the Rams to me is just. I mean, I always like to look at a team like, all right, what is that team's weakness? So like I've been asking A-Rod for a lot of weeks, like what's the Cardinals' weakness?
I told you.
JJ Watt is not a weakness. I mean, he's gone. I think it's still going to be fine. To me, their bigger concern is making sure Kyler Murray is healthy. He makes it to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because now it's just like last year. It's like right on script. He's a little banged up in the middle of the season, and you don't want to see them kind of fall.
I feel like they're sketchy at running back. I mean, I think they're heavy at running back because they have two talented running backs. But I mean, that just it doesn't scream like strength on their team. You got Chase Edmonds, you got James Conner. They both do, one guy gets the goal line touches, the other guy kind of helps the offense go forward. But I mean, there's no power there, right? Like if you say those names, you're not like, oh crap, like you do with Kyler Murray,
But when I say Darrell Henderson, I don't feel oh crap either, or Sony Michel, I don't feel like, oh, okay, wow. Like to me, it's fair. The same situation there. So I mean, to me, those. But then it's like, I know the Bucs secondary is terrible, but like it's still Tom Brady. It's like, when have you guys ever counted out Tom Brady? You know what I mean? So
ever.
They're still there. I know Aaron Rodgers is going through what he's going through, but he's going to be back. Like, and
back tonight.
Apparently, I didn't know this, but the Packers defense is actually pretty good. I mean, that one caught me off guard.
Good enough to cut Jalen Brown. That's one we forgot.
Jalen Smith.
I'm sorry. I thought about that trash.
I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Like, yeah, man, I don't get that either. That's like a very good player, and he's not even on a team that we always say like the defense is so. Could he not read the playbook? Like, I don't think they even gave like a reason why.
I mean, that one, I don't know. That one kind of caught me off guard. But I do want to get to this OBJ situation, if that's okay with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So the dad puts out this video on social media or whatever, okay? Should OBJ be vilified for what his dad did? Do you think this is being handled the right way? I don't know what you guys think, but I'm kind of like on the fence because I do think maybe he did kind of gave him the okay to plan it because it did happen on the day of the trade deadline. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
Did he really do anything that we already didn't know? Like, I mean,
Baker?
Yeah, but I feel like we've been talking about it. OBJ getting traded for like 2 years now. Like at some point, and that goes like you said, Cleveland's going to Cleveland, and they do their thing where they hold on to a guy that doesn't want to be there. You just mentioned a successful franchise in the Steelers that let a decent player go because you didn't want to be there. So you don't want to be here, then goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. You need to pick the team over the player. And it looks like the Cleveland Browns are dumb. I'm surprised they weren't able to get anything from anybody for
his contract. It's because his contract. It's the $8 million that people don't want.
You can get a 7th rounder so easy.
Yeah, I get that, but
also if they would have traded them like a year and a half ago before all this stuff got out, they probably might have had more leverage. Now they have no leverage, so there's not much they can get. Is he going to get released? I don't know. We'll see. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, but I don't fault OBJ for it at all. He wants out. That team sucks. I don't blame him.
Where do you think he goes if he gets cut?
New England.
No, I don't think that's not a Belichick move.
That's the most classic Belichick move.
It's a good Belichick.
Albert Hainsworth.
Albert Hainsworth, and then name another one. Randy Moss, and then after that, who else?
Joe Johnson.
But they weren't players like OBJ. Those are guys that are like at the end of their careers. OBJ's not at
Randy Moss was not at the end of his career. He was still in his prime.
That's it.
Corey Dillon.
Corey Dillon's a good one, but other than Corey Dillon and
he's proving you wrong.
Where we go?
Albert Hainsworth was at the end of his career.
Antonio Brown.
Career.
He just won a Super Bowl.
Darrelle Revis.
All these guys are at the end of their career. When we had Tom Brady and we were winning, and people wanted to come to the Patriots, right? Because they were going to contend for Super Bowls. There's no way OBJ signs with the Patriots. I think if anywhere, he's going to go somewhere where he can ring chase.
All right, how about this?
He goes to the Bucs. I fucking quit watching football.
No, the Bucs don't have money. Don't have money. Let's look at the landscape of the AFC. Can we do that really quick?
Yeah.
Besides the Bills, what team scares you?
Chargers.
Scares you. I mean, they just lost. They just lost to the Patriots, and they just lost to the Bengals. They're not that
most
good.
Likely a better team than New England. The Bengals.
None of those teams scare me. Like, they're good, but who actually scares you besides the Bills? Nobody. So to me, if he theoretically, if he would have went to the Patriots, I mean, they have as equal as a shot as the Chargers, as the Bengals, as the Browns, as the as all of them. Like, as the Chiefs, given their defense situation, the only team that's honestly set up to make a Super Bowl run in the AFC is the Bills. And we're talking about Bill Belichick, who spent the better past of the last 2 decades just owning the Bills. And I'm pretty sure in Bill Belichick's mind, he's not truly scared of the Bills. So
and you look at the way this offense is structured. They have that intermediate passing game perfectly. They just don't have that one guy over the top, one guy to make a big play, and one guy to do a little bit extra.
Exactly.
And it would fit. Granted, there's a lot of issues there.
Yeah, they want Jacoby Myers to be the one, but he's not.
And let's be honest, the Bills are
supposed to be like the next Edelman, and it's so.
And N'Keal Harry is a head case. Like,
look who they played. Look who the Bills have played, right? So let's look at their schedule. Who they lost to the Steelers week 1, beat the Dolphins, beat the Washington football team, beat the Houston Texans, beat the Kansas City Chiefs, played a real team, lost to the Titans, and then beat the Miami Dolphins again. Are you really scared of them? I'm not.
Exactly. And they barely.
They barely.
And I want to second this too, because I don't know if like your listeners know this. Vic, tell your take about Josh Allen.
We did this on your episode, on your podcast.
On ours, yeah, but I'm saying for your listeners, in case they don't know why Vic brought up this Buffalo Bills situation.
He's overrated, and he's overrated. The whole team's overrated, but he's the most overrated player in football. I mean, let's be honest, he's not an MVP. He's throwing really good wide receivers out there. He's got like Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs. It's not like he's Tom Brady throwing to David Patton, you know? So I'm not impressed by him at all. I think he makes dumb mistakes, and I don't think he's a pressure quarterback. I think he's good when it's easy for him, but when the going gets tough, he struggles. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback either. I'm just saying he's overrated. You know, everybody, you know, giving him GOAT status already, and he's not the best quarterback in the league. He's not the 5th best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. I mean, I would take Brady. I would take Rodgers. I would take Kyler Murray over him even. You know, I know there's somebody I'm moving off the list here, but yeah, definitely Brady and Rodgers.
The last time
I told you.
No, go ahead.
Oh, and Mahomes.
This is a question for all, like, to 3 of you to kind of help Vic here with his situation. If I told you a team played the Dolphins and the quarterback threw 42 times, how many yards do you think that quarterback got?
I hope 350, 400.
He got 249 yards on 42 pass attempts.
Listen, the last time you guys were on, I'm pretty sure it was, I said this. I said he's more Carson Wentz than whatever they think he is. And
Aaron Rodgers or something, yeah.
Yeah, because to me, the talent is there, but to me, it's everything around him in Buffalo is perfect. Like that's why when Carson Wentz had that magical 13-3 season before he, you know, tore his ACL, we had the best offensive line in football. Lane Johnson was amazing. Brandon Brooks was amazing. Jason Kelce was amazing. Jason Peters was amazing. We had the best offensive line. On top of that, we had an amazing run game. LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi, and short guy, what's his name? From
Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles. Then on top of that, we have good weapons on the outside. Torrey Smith was doing well. Alshon Jeffrey was doing well. Zach Ertz was doing like. So to me, that was a perfect situation for Carson Wentz. And the Bills are the same exact thing. They had a perfect situation going around them. And it's not like they have amazing running backs, but they're serviceable. They know how to play. Stephon Diggs is, to me, a top 7 receiver in the league. Emmanuel Sanders, I think me and you were talking about this, A-Rod. Emmanuel Sanders has been to Super Bowls. Like he's the missing piece to being a good team. He's that guy. And then what's his name is very disrespected. Cole Beasley. He's a very good slot guy. You know,
well, they did get Sanders to replace Beasley.
To replace him, but Beasley is still there. And then they have the guy from UCF as well, Gabriel. And he's pretty good. Dawson Knox before he got hurt is pretty good. So, you know, they play the Dolphins twice a year. You know, that's two dubs. They play the Jets twice a year. That's another 2 dubs. And then you got to just try to split with the Bills. I mean, with the Patriots. And then the rest of your schedule is the rest of your schedule. And to me, outside of that Chiefs win, where we now know that defense is terrible, they don't really have a signature victory on their resume this year. That Titans game, that Titans one was like, yeah, that they can get got basically.
And the thing is, like, he has this aura around him that he's a great deep ball thrower, right? Well, his average yards per completion are 16th in the league. His average yards per attempt are 14th in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not that great of a deep ball thrower, and you know his completion percentage is 19th in the league. I mean, there's 30 quarterbacks and 30, right? 30, yeah, I think 30. 30 quarterbacks in the NFL. He's 19th. He's average. He's average.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think he's a little bit better than average, but he's not what people think he is. And it's
not a bad man.
Yeah, he's not a bad man. He's not a bad man. He's a great runner. You know, he can get the ball to where he needs to get to when you have amazing receivers, but he's not a bad man like that.
And that's what saved his.
He said this on Monday night.
See, in that game against the Dolphins, what saved him was his legs. The 8 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown. That's why he ended up with 3 total touchdowns. So, I mean, yeah, as a passer, like, he's average. He's just a little bit better, like you mentioned, a little bit better. But to Vic's point, there's probably 15, 20 other quarterbacks I'd rather take.
You know, the problem we have as a society right now when it comes to rating players in sports, it's fantasy football. Fantasy football. Well, if you're the type of person that only looks at fantasy football numbers to assess a person's play, that you think they're way better than they really are. But when you actually sit down and watch 60 minutes and actually break down film and break down tape and actually watch the player, you realize, damn, why did he throw that? Oh, damn, this guy was wide open. What was that? But in the fourth quarter, when it's still 3-3, and they give him a crease to run for 50 yards, that's 5 points. So in your back of your head, it's like, oh, he scored 30 fantasy points today, so he's balling. So that's the problem that we have, is that we're so fixated on what we see on fantasy and not actually what we see on the field. And that's the problem, personally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, we're way off the OBJ topic too. So
I
don't even know how we got to Josh Allen.
Well, because we were talking about who scared you in the AFC, where we would go.
But back to the topic of that, if we go to the NFC now, there's like at least 4 or 5 teams that are pretty scary, and any one of those teams could make a pitch to go try and get OBJ. You want to be on a Super Bowl contender? Is that all you need?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's literally 5 teams in the NFC that are legit contenders to me. I mean, which out of those 5, I don't know who would want to put up with an OBJ and who has,
that brings me to my point about OBJ. He's a fucking head case. You don't want to deal with him. Just like you said, do you think he got with his dad to do this? I 100% believe he would do something like that. He's very immature. He's very the way he carries himself is just, I don't like it. Is he good on the field? Absolutely, he's good. But when you start poo-pooing on the side, always shrugging, arguing with the fans and shit like that, get in the game, bro. Get in the game. Don't kick the ball into the net and it comes back and hits you in the face. Shit,
all right, A-Rod, I have a question for you.
He's a clown to me, man.
I have a question for you, A-Rod. Since he's been with Cleveland, has he done any of that? Because everything that you're saying is all New York shit. He has not done any of that stuff.
He was arguing with fans in Cleveland the game before last. He was arguing with Cleveland's fans. They were booing him. And yeah, he's been pretty quiet. His best friend is there. That's why. That was a move on the Browns to say, yo, we're in this for you, Juice. We're going to get your best friend and probably one of the best receivers in football, but it's not panning out. Just like Jay Kid said, it's good, but it's not good enough, man. You gotta OBJ to me is just, you gotta get him on a team. I feel like where he would excel, and it sounds weird, but I think the Ravens would be a good spot for him because they're all young, they all got swagger, they all like to be flashy and shit like that. And that's the kind of guy that OBJ got to play with. He can't play with Eli Manning, who's vanilla yogurt. Baker Mayfield can't dance. We saw that stupid video where he did that dumb dance thing. He looked whack. He doesn't have no swag.
Baker Mayfield has swag. Let's stop that.
I really do. I do get your point with the swagger part, but I feel like if he does go to the Rams, first of all, I don't think it'll happen because of the divisional thing, but I feel like that would be another situation where he's going to get really sick and tired of not getting any play because
they run the ball.
Who's the center of that offense? Yeah, exactly.
The Ravens run the football.
They're a running team, and it's just, he's going to get sick and tired of it.
I could also see him as a ring chaser. I could say the Bucs saying yo, we got 20 cents.
Tom Brady is the perfect human being. If you want to talk about anybody that will calm him down, it's Tom Brady
or Bill Belichick, one of the
two. Or him. But is he going to have the patience? Is he going to have the patience? All right. So let's look at the Pats. Will he have the patience for a rookie quarterback? I don't know. Okay. That's a lot.
A rookie quarterback who needs a deep threat.
That's a lot for Mac Jones to deal with at that age of his, career. That's a lot for a young guy to deal with.
He had some of the best receivers in college. Now he's dealing with
they were all
NFL talent, but
they were all
not as good talent.
There's a difference between college at Alabama with Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the greatest coach of all time in college sports, maybe sports all time. You think Nick Saban will put up with any bullshit on the sideline? Absolutely not.
And that's for Bill. That's for Bill to deal with.
Mac Jones is a baby. I don't want to do that to this young man. Not yet. Okay. Tom Brady can deal with it. Matt Stafford could deal with it. Aaron Rodgers could deal with it. Patrick Mahomes could deal with it. Trevor Siemian can probably deal with it because Trevor Siemian has legs and he's been around. But Mac Jones, that's a because Sean Payton doesn't play that shit in New Orleans, so that shit would never fly in New Orleans. And I know it wouldn't fly with Bill Belichick, but the Bill Belichick's offense is kind of a running team as well. I mean, if you want to think about it,
it's more of a spread though.
Yeah, it's like what Sammy said. It's more of a spread offense, and honestly, I don't think that there's a huge. I don't feel like the Patriots have a huge need at wide receiver right now, as big as their need is at cornerback. Our defense needs to get better before we need to worry about the offense, in my opinion. That's the only way we're going to win games. We're not going to win games because OBJ is going to take us down the field. Even Brady's first year in the league, it was the defense that carried that team to a Super Bowl. Exactly. As long as Mac can continue to be a game manager, which is what we need him to do, we don't like A-Rod was saying, we don't need OBJ to come in here and just start mixing stuff up. I'd rather have, a better corner than I like JC Jackson, but who's behind him is Jalen Mills. I'm not really a fan of him on yeah, but he's good. He's good in the nickel, but he's not in the slot. He's not great outside one-on-one. So if we can get that one-on-one corner, I think we'll be all right. Also, somebody to replace Hightower. He looks slow this year. Maybe a middle linebacker we can fit in there would be nice, but I don't know how many of those guys are going to be on the market. And another thing is money. We don't really have that much money. So
yeah, because Bill finally.
I think this is a situation. If it's a win-win situation, I say bring him in. I mean, what do you have to lose at this point? The trade deadline's over. You can't really.
But who's it a win for? Is it a win for Mac Jones to have to deal with that personality this young in his career? Where he's having a fine season. Their aspirations right now is to make the playoffs and win a playoff game, and that would be great for Mac Jones. And so, I mean, I know Bill's getting up there in age. He probably wants to add one more ring under his belt, but his big responsibility is to make sure that McDaniels, the next head coach of the Patriots, is set up for success moving on. So I don't think OBJ is a long-term option. So there's no reason to just bring him as a rental because I don't know what value he's going to provide this year that's going to help the team, propel them to the Super Bowl. Because I don't think they're ready for that yet. Anyway, I mean they can win a playoff game by all means, but to go all the way and win a Super Bowl or even make the Super Bowl, OBJ where OBJ is at in his career right now, he needs to be like at that. Yeah, it's time for me to start. I wouldn't say he's at the end of his career, but because he's only 27, 28. So as a wide receiver, he's theoretically still in his prime. He's just Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. I'm sorry, people like to defend him so much. He's not that guy. Okay, he's not that guy. So OBJ needs to be in a situation where it's a pass-friendly offense, and there's got to be somebody who can get him the football. So, if he gets released and he clears waivers, he has an opportunity to pick where he's going to go. I heavily doubt he'd pick the Patriots to be that team to go to. It needs to be like a Green Bay, across from Devontae Adams. It needs to be like a, I don't know. The Saints. To me, the Saints would be perfect for him because Michael Thomas clearly doesn't want to be there anymore.
That's good, yeah.
That would be his team now because Michael Thomas is going to be out the door next year.
Too. He's home.
Yeah, and it's home. But to me, he's also a diva kind of guy who likes the spotlight. So LA, one of those two LA teams. I've been hearing Las Vegas. It's kind of replaced Ruggs. I can see that. I can honestly see that. Derek Carr is such a nice guy. Like he just loves everybody. So I think that'd be good.
It could be a good spot, Vegas. Yeah,
that is a good. That's a good. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
One.
So those and Vegas. I mean, what are they 5-2 or something like that? So they're there. Like they're there to be like add another player. Like okay, maybe we can start taking this team a lot seriously. So to me, like you said, would be good for them.
His best bet is to stay in the AFC or go to either the Rams or the Bucks in the NFC. But
or the Packers. I think the Packers is a good option.
The Packers would be good too.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, Rodgers is like, I'm not going to be here next year if you're thinking about signing. So it ain't happening.
But I mean, what if he does want to be there next year? I mean,
it's true. He's having a lot of fun, which is very strange. Like for a situation, like he's having, I own you, and the freaking
it is.
All that shit that was happening during the summer. At the end of the day, once you get on the football field, all that stuff kind of you just leave that stuff in the past. Like it's like when you separate business from the sport is what makes you like. That's what you started playing football at 3-4 years old for, that popcorn and stuff. Like it's for to get on the field. Like all the business side of sports is kind of like is annoying, but once you get past all that, it's good stuff.
Oakland loves flashy receivers too. They went out and got Randy Moss, so you can see it repeating right there.
Yeah.
I think that would be good. Let's go basketball talk though, because I know Vic wants to talk that. So let's switch over to basketball.
As of right now, before you even say anything, Celtics looking pretty damn good against this Miami Heat right now.
They should have took the 6, bro.
This is what they do. They do this, and then they're going to end up blowing it in the fourth quarter. But I will say that finally they decided to let Naismith play, and he's second on the team in points right now. 2 for 4 from 3, by the way.
Naismith?
Yeah, Naismith's a good player, man. He just needs playing time. That's it.
He's a rhythm guy. He's got to find a rhythm, and they're not. Udoka wasn't giving him much of a rhythm or playing time to find that.
Yeah, but he's playing Jay Rich over him, and we know how well he's doing. But I don't understand Tatum's shooting. He's 0 for 5 tonight still. I don't
want to ask the question about old boy? Since we're already on the topics already. KK,
what's up?
You want to ask the question about old boy since we're already on the Celtics topic?
We talking about the Celtics. So guys, what the hell's going on? Marcus Smart saying all this stuff. Vic just said that Marcus Smart is not a good player. He could replace him with Lonzo Ball, and the team would be better. So
I would like all better.
What is the state? What is the temperature right now for my Celtics fans here? Like, what do you think? What's going on? It's the worst defense in the league right now. Although right now, again, it's still early, but they're playing the hell out of this Miami team, who to me is the best team in the East. But look at this. They're looking good so far. So what is it? Udoka? Is it Marcus Smart? Is it the combination of Jaylen Brown and Tatum? What is it? What's going on?
That is definitely not it. It has nothing to do with Tatum or Brown, and the people that say that are casuals, in my opinion. Seriously, like they don't watch the games, they don't know what's going on. I mean that nothing pisses me off more than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can't play together. But I think it's a combination of all those things that you said, KK, other than the Jays not being able to play together. It's a little bit of Udoka's defense, and again, he's a first-year coach, and this is his 8th game in the league. So I'm not really the biggest fan of him right now, but that could change. As far as Smart's comments, I don't know. There's something about this team where these guys just don't gel, and I don't know if that's Marcus Smart or if that's all the collection of players they have, but they haven't really gelled for a long time. And that's a fucking charge. Oops, sorry.
You curse on there all the time. You're good.
But no, Marcus Smart has gotten to a level where he's become an annoyance to me.
What?
Some of his decisions on offense are horrendous. And I honestly think that the fact that people continue to say that Marcus Smart's the heart and soul of this team just are so overblown. And our games are not made with Marcus Smart and what Marcus Smart does in the game. That's my opinion.
Sammy?
I want to quote a tweet that I retweeted the other day. Obviously I have the Jason Tatum picture in the back of him complaining a lot. But this tweet was perfect, and it kind of perfectly described how I felt the last week and a half. Is I'm not quitting on the Celtics. but I need some space, so I'm going to sleep on the Grizzlies couch for a few nights. So, with that being said, huge Ja Morant fan, have been since last year. Besides the point.
I am obsessed with Ja Morant, by the way. That's right. Continue.
My Celtics take, I'm going to echo what Vic said, but I'm also going to bring another aspect to it. I don't like Ime Udoka's choices with what he's doing with the team. And I think what we see now is Brad Stevens was actually a very, very brilliant coach.
That's what I was going to say.
In coaching up a lot of these guys and setting motions for certain players to get them open. And we're seeing a lot of that kind of die down, and we're seeing a new style of defense and then a new implementation of different lineups that we're not used to, right? So Peyton Pritchard hasn't been getting as many minutes as probably he should, but obviously because he's such a liability with the way Ime Udoka plays. So you're losing that shooting, right? That's a guy that comes off the bench that brings a spark, that brings that shooting. He's not getting as many minutes. Jason Richardson is just not doing what I thought he was going to do. He's playing okay defense, but overall it's been mediocre.
Yeah, not with how bad his offense.
How short?
Yeah, and his offense exactly. It doesn't make up for how bad his offensive output is, and I think we're seeing a sense of entitlement in these guys. Not to say that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can't play together, but I think they go into games, and I think we saw it perfectly with I think the Raptors game, if I'm not mistaken. So they come off such a tight game against the Knicks. They go into the Raptors game. It just looked so flat. They looked very, very flat. I know it was a double overtime game, fatigue, yada, yada, yada. You're professionals and you haven't played in 3 weeks. You can come in and beat a team that you're definitely way more talented than. You are more talented than the Raptors.
Did they win?
And they didn't.
Did they win against the Knicks? Did they win against the Knicks?
They did not.
This was not an opportunity for you to make this.
And it was a great game, and they got all the hype. Everybody got the hype. Jaylen Brown got the hype. Jaylen Brown got sick, COVID, all this other stuff. They're saying COVID is affecting him. Who knows? I don't care. What I see, COVID is real, but what I see on that court, I don't see the energy. And it seems like they want to just go into these stadiums and even try because even Boston is not scaring anybody anymore. It used to. Going into Boston used to scare people, but the way these guys play, like look at what the Bulls game. They go up by 20 points and they're just trying to chill. And you got this Bulls team that is a bunch of veterans that really want this year. You know what I mean? They brought a really good crew, and me and Vic I was high on the Bulls. Vic wasn't at first, but now he's kind of coming along on it. And they scratch back and they come back and they win by 14. And the energy, it's just something wrong with, like Vic said, there's something wrong with they're not gelling. And there's, I don't know. It's just the energy is not there. They're entitled. They think they can go in. They have all this hype and they think they can go in and just win a game easy. And
that's the way I feel too, Sam. It just feels like it's not that they're not trying, because of course they're trying. They're professionals, but it just feels like, I don't know how to say it. They're soft, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I give a tape? The Knicks also beat the Bulls too, so I just want to throw that out there.
So did the Sixers.
I lost money on that last.
So did the Sixers, but okay, but
we beat the Sixers too, so I just want to throw that out there too. Anyway,
fine, dude. Just don't get it.
I'm winning everywhere. What I want to get at is with my Marcus Smart thing. I think he's like the longest tenured Celtic there now. I know Al Horford's back, but he's been around with some other teams, but he's
cheating.
Yeah, he's been cheating around. He's been with some other teams. And they thought
he got paid in Philly, so Boston let him was like, all right, go ahead, go get paid.
Absolutely, but like they thought that Al Horford would be like that father, the glue, all of that to bring back. But Marcus Smart has the biggest mouth of them all, and I think by him making those comments, it kind of starts to light a fire under people's asses and be like, yo, he's right. We're better than this type of thing. And Vic, you're muted. We can't hear you, so it's all good. Probably talking to the wife, anyways. But you're good. But I just think like that's a good person to have on your team. I think the way that he carries himself, his tenacity, all of that. He doesn't have to be the best guy on the court, but I do think he is the heartbeat of that team, because I don't see it in Jason Tatum. He's a great player. I just don't see him as vocal about things. Like him and Jaylen Brown are too relaxed. They're too buddy off the court.
I mean, if you look at on the court, Al Horford is actually very, very vocal with that defense, and the splits with him off the court and on the court, because he has missed a couple games. Their defense is like our defense is bad, but when it's especially bad when he's not playing.
Yeah, but Marcus Smart is throwing his body on the ground. He's all over the place. He's just
he hasn't this year.
Yeah, this year I know. I guess so. I don't care about the Celtics, but I like Marcus Smart. So if you get rid of him, please send him my way. I'll be okay with that, dude.
Can I say one thing? Because I remember I talked about this early this year, like in January or February, and I said it before, and it started to me. History is repeating itself again. Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker. It's the same thing to me. Like they're both
and Ron Mercer.
Both want to be alphas because they both have the talent to be alphas, right? But one of them's got to go. I'm sorry, and I know Vic, you say they should work together. It's like your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's within the flow of the game to me.
But that's a different personnel issue to me, though. That is the fact that the reason that happens is that the Celtics don't have a primary ball handler that can facilitate the offense like it should be, like a Chris Paul.
Yeah. They got Schroeder, though.
Stop. Schroeder.
The black hole.
Known as a pass first point guard. I'm talking like Alonzo Ball, like a Chris Paul, even LaMelo a little bit, but somebody like that's scoring is secondary to them. Finding the right play is the first thing that they want to do. So, and the Celtics, if you look at the Celtics point guards, we haven't had that since Rondo left, right? So we've only had we've had Kyrie, we've had Terry Rozier, Isaiah Thomas, Kemba Walker.
All score first.
All score first point guards. Even on the bench, there haven't really been pass first point guards. So that's, in my point, the issue. I don't think it's the issue with the Tatums, because right now you're right, KK. It is a little bit my turn, your turn, my turn right now. I agree with you on that, but I don't think that's their fault as much as it is their lack of ability at this time to be playmakers themselves. So, I mean, Tatum's gotten a little bit better. Brown has improved every year on his playmaking, but neither of them are at the level of, like a LeBron James, KD,
well, you get the two best players in the league. Like,
I mean, in terms of playmaking, not in terms of like scoring and all that. In terms of being a wing player that's able to also play make and make players around them better. Now, if I did have to choose between one of them at this point, I mean that's a real Sophie's choice right there. It's not as easy as people thinking that my answer would be Tatum. I think Brown has the ability to be the best shooting guard in the league. I said it last year.
He impressed me.
Yeah,
he's very impressive.
I think what we're seeing with Jaylen Brown is we're actually seeing a crazy progression in his offense, which was very inconsistent early on. Now that he developed a little bit of a jump shot and he has the explosiveness, he scares people. And the fact that he can play much better defense than Jason Tatum is, and not from a fact that of skill wise, it's just Tatum just lacks on defense, and that's nothing against him. He's a scorer, right? That's his thing, and you see that with scorers. But I see Jaylen Brown more. He can, even if he develops more, can develop into like a Kawhi Leonard, like that type of wing player.
Well, the difference is that Kawhi Leonard came into the league as a super lockdown defender already, and then the offense came, and his offense was surprising, right?
Well, Jaylen Brown's
a very good defender, but he's not a Kawhi Leonard kind of defender.
But he also wasn't a shooter.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Jaylen Brown. Because if you would have asked me a year ago if I had to pick between the two, I would have taken Jason Tatum every single day of my life. Now, I mean, this game is on right now. Tatum has 0 points, and they're up 18. So I don't know.
And another thing, saying that the Jays can't play together, they lead in terms of. I'm just looking at 3-man lineups here. The top 3-man lineup in plus minus in the league right now is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Robert Williams. That's the best 3-man lineup in the NBA.
So
there's a record too when they score 30 plus points a piece that they're like I forgot what the record is, but they have a crazy really good record when they both score 30 together.
So in a perfect world, because I think we all agree they probably need like a real point guard, like a true point guard, right? Who's available? Like, who do you think right now? Like, don't say Lonzo or whatever. Who do you think would be like a good guy to go like try to trade for right now that would actually be available?
There's nobody right now that's available.
Ricky Rubio.
No, I see. No, Ricky Rubio is not the score that we need. I think.
I got one for you. What about Murray from the Spurs?
DeJounte,
he lacks in his 3-point shot isn't great, so he'll kind of mess up the spacing a little bit. I don't want another Rondo. I don't think that's what we need. I think we need, like, honestly,
true point guard, but he doesn't want a true point guard. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I'm confused. What do you want?
Cheap.
Nick wants a guy to come out and play. He's good at threes. He's good at assists. He's good at it all.
No, I just want somebody that's not going to mess up spacing, because that's another big issue for this team last year was spacing, and that's why they went out and were able to get Al Horford. But I mean, if I'm looking here, I'm just looking down the list of guards here. Let's see.
You should have got Mike Conley. Is what you should have did.
Conley would have been great. Yes,
there you go. That's the guy. That's the kind of guy. But I mean, Utah would be stupid to come off of him. So somebody of that kind of caliber, like, how like the Milwaukee went and got Drew Bledsoe. I mean, not Drew Bledsoe. Drew Holiday. Like that.
That would be great too.
Yeah,
I said Murray because, like, he's going to be available. The Celtics are young. He's a young player. He's good off the ball. He's a good scorer. He's pretty good at defense. Like, I think he can do it all. Like, the 3-point shot
is his defense, right? I mean, that's what, like, his thing is. And he's able to score. So, and I'm looking at his stats because I don't even remember him from last year. Let's see how he's doing this year. So his field goal percentage is all right. 3-point percentage is fine. But yeah, I mean, I guess in the perfect world, we would have gotten Lonzo in this offseason, in my opinion. That would have been the perfect point guard other than Chris Paul that would have fit in this team. Because Chris Paul also brings that, shut the hell up veteran mentality too, right?
That's what you got. Because I know you're saying DeJounte, that's what they don't need. They don't need another young guy in the locker room. They need like a 31-year-old point guard, like who's been there, done that, been around teams
too.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry would have been good.
We should have traded Kyle Lowry for Kemba Walker straight up.
Thank you. I like him. I like him with the Knicks. Keep him here.
Kemba Walker. Yeah, you had that one game.
Yeah, I don't care if you scored 3 points last night. That's okay, man.
Look, all this Knicks stuff, man. Y'all are only 5-3. Like, I don't know what. Everyone's talking about Bing Bong. The Knicks are here. You guys are 5-3. Get out of here.
They look sorry. Good, bro. They look good. I don't care, man.
So they're gonna go 41-41. Everyone's gonna be Bing Bong.
What did I tell you at the beginning of the season? I said all you gotta do is win a series, and I'm happy with that. Win a series, and I'm okay. Go to the promised land is even better. But a series is all I want.
Okay,
I'm a realist. I
don't think y'all better than Chicago. I don't think you guys are better than Miami. I don't think you guys are better than Brooklyn.
The Jets are going to get waxed tonight, and the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. You heard it here first.
Miami's real good. Sammy, let me ask you this: we talked to the over/unders at the beginning of the season. Would you still take the Celtics over, or would you cash that ticket in right now for 50 cents on the dollar?
Cash that ticket in.
Okay.
All right, let's go to another topic. Or whatever you're gonna say. We'll finish up, Vic.
No, I would still hang with him. I'm not throwing up the same yet. I think there's still moves out there. And
the only reason I say that is because I'm riding high on the Chicago Bulls pick that I took in the beginning of the year. So
I'm pretty sure I took that with you.
You said you didn't like it.
Let's stay on the Bulls.
42.5.
Let's stay on the Bulls. Scottie Pippen. Probably Michael Jordan's greatest teammate of all time. Decides he's not a Michael Jordan fan anymore. He says LeBron's better. What y'all make of it, man?
I mean, it's not even just. I mean, all right, this whole Scottie thing. I've been following it closely for the last 5-6 years, actually, because Scottie has been trying to get his get back for a long time now, and now the world is, because of The Last Dance. The world is finally listening to Scottie Pippen, because Scottie Pippen is, to me, one of the most disrespected stars that the NBA has ever had. In the entirety of the National Basketball Association, there has not been one superstar or one star or one player in the NBA who's more disrespected than Scottie Pippen, and here's why. Michael Jordan is obviously one 1A or 1B for me. Depending on the side of the bed that I wake up on. And for me, is I paid close attention as far as like knowing what I was looking at when I was watching basketball. I would say the last 2 or 3 championships that he had in Chicago, and I've seen the whole entirety of LeBron's career, the whole entirety of Kobe's career. So Michael Jordan is right there, and to me, LeBron James is right there, and just a hair below them is Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant, and then just a hair below them is Tim Duncan and Shaq. So this is how I feel. Okay. Now, so Michael Jordan would have still went down as that, still, no matter what, because he would have figured out, I don't think he would have went 6-0, but he would have figured out how to get a couple rings here and there. He would have figured it out without Scottie. But what Scottie did for Michael Jordan, he literally, because Michael Jordan was doing too much early on in his career. He had to guard the best player. He had to score 35 points. He had to, he was saying people were doing crack in the locker room. He had to get the guys to stop doing that. He had to go pick up like a teammate's kid from school because, one of his teammates probably had a gambling addiction. He had to do everything on top of the fact that he had all the endorsements and everything. And he did pretty well doing that. But every year, what was happening? First round exit, swept, all that stuff, right? Here, and it comes Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen will guard the other team's best player.
Welcome back.
Scottie Pippen was the leading assister for the team. Scottie Pippen was the length that anchored the defense. He was literally like LeBron James light. Like he was
LeBron James before LeBron James.
Before LeBron was a thought, Scottie Pippen was doing that already, right? And that made Michael's job easy. Hey, Mike, all you got to do is go score 45 because Scottie's going to go. Remember, all right, the NBA Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 1, the Lakers destroyed them because Magic Johnson killed them because Michael Jordan was guarding Magic Johnson, but Michael Jordan had to go score 40 and guard Magic. So what did they do Game 2? They put Scottie on Magic Johnson, and the rest is history. And that was the secret sauce. Then they went and got Dennis Rodman, who's averaging 17 rebounds a game for like 5-6 years in a row. Then they got Ron Harper, who's going to lock you down on defense and in the perimeter as well. They built a perfect team around Michael Jordan. And the way the media became, because at that time, I always said the media romantic, because there was no social media at that time. So they romanticized stories and players a lot more. And the way the media has always defended Michael Jordan is as if he literally walked on water. Like I hear Skip Baylesses of the world and the Stephen A. Smiths and all these people literally, like I heard Skip Bayless say that Michael Jordan could have fought a bear, like that kind of stuff. And that kind of old school writing is what was in what people remember. That's all they know. Yeah, Michael Jordan could do anything. But they didn't realize the impact that Scottie Pippen had on that team. And Scottie Pippen watched that Last Dance documentary, and it wasn't a Last Dance documentary. It was a Michael Jordan documentary that was used to shit on everybody that Michael Jordan ever played with. And, you would think all these years later, Michael Jordan would have an appreciation for all the stuff that all his teammates did. But it didn't come across as that. He was blaming Horace Grant for this. He was blaming Scottie Pippen for that. He was punching Steve Kerr in the face. He was doing everything but hype up his teammates that he played with. And Scottie has every reason to feel how he's feeling right now. On the same token, in the back of my head, I'm like, bro, just let it go. You were disrespected then. You're going to be disrespected now. You're going to be disrespected for the rest of your career. And you adding fuel to the fire by keep bringing it up, it doesn't make you look good, because at the end of the day, all they're going to do is go back to what Michael Jordan said. Yeah. You didn't want to go shoot that. You didn't want to inbound the ball to Tony Kukoc. Yeah, you had the migraine game. Yeah, you stayed hurt longer than you should have because you didn't want to, because your contract situation. And that's all they're going to do, because when you are so in support of a player and you want to defend that player, you find every way to bring down everything around, like everybody else. So, like when people talk about LeBron and Jordan debate, instead of taking all the positive things about both players, they say everything wrong about, oh, LeBron passed the ball here. Oh, Michael would never do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem that Scottie's having right now, because it's like, damn, I was there too. Like as great as Michael Jordan is and was,
on the 75 list, man. Like,
that's besides the point.
And also,
he knows if I was not there, if I'm Scottie Pippen, this is what I'm thinking. If I wasn't there, I heavily doubt that this man was going to win 6 rings, because it's hard to win by yourself. It's impossible. You can't guard the best player and score 40 points. Exactly. You can't. It's hard. Like, that's really hard to do. So Scottie has every right to feel how he feels, but I think he needs to just let it go.
Also, Michael Jordan's like a terrible person, like in real life.
He is.
Yeah. A real bad guy.
He is. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I've said my piece. It's annoying. The whole thing is annoying, but go ahead.
No, I'm with you on that. I agree. I think Scottie Pippen was, like you said, it was LeBron before LeBron, and Magic Johnson was Scottie Pippen before Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
It's crazy how people have thought like the point forward is this new thing. No, it's been around for a while. People just didn't call it that. But Scottie Pippen was a great player, and also humble beginnings, right? University of Central Arkansas, not really known as a basketball powerhouse, but really came up the hard way.
Not really, no.
They're
definitely not a basketball.
Until that Last Dance documentary, I was like, "Where did he go?"
I love how nice you were being with that. No,
they have a good engineering program though, in agriculture. So,
all right. But no, yeah, I don't think that those championships don't happen for a lot of reasons. If it wasn't for Scottie, and obviously Dennis came and kind of rejuvenated that team, but that first three-peat, I mean, that was all Scottie, that was all Michael, without Scottie Pippen, I don't think he has 6 rings now.
Yeah,
but also without Michael Jordan, I don't think Scottie has 6 rings either. So.
Without Michael Jordan, I don't think Scottie has any rings. That's the difference. Yeah. But still, like, I don't know. It's just the way that I understand how great Michael Jordan is and was and all that stuff, but the way people make it seem as if everybody around him was trailer trash and terrible, I would take serious offense to that too. Like, I understand everything that Scottie is saying, because damn, I wasn't terrible. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, these guys talk about their teams back then like they weren't super teams, but let's be honest, the Celtics in the late 80s was a super team, right?
The Celtics in the 60s were a super team.
I mean, I don't count the 60s, but the Celtics in the 80s, Larry Bird, Havlicek, Robert Harris, DJ, that was a super team. The Lakers,
Bill Walton.
That was a super team. Magic Johnson, you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, James Worthy. These are freaking super teams.
Yeah.
And also, Michael Jordan had a super team too. I mean, he really did with that Bulls team, and with lots of those Bulls teams. I think every single one that won the championship was great. I mean, you had Steve Kerr on that team, who was one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. Who is one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time?
He has the highest 3-point field goal percentage of all time.
Exactly.
Still.
That's insane. I mean, you have Scottie Pippen. John Paxson wasn't a slouch when he was there. Bill Cartwright, BJ Ops, Grant when he was there. Like you said, Dennis Rodman. I mean, not really known for his offensive skills, but he's great too. I mean, there's a list of guys on this team that I think a few of them are on the 75. 3 of his former teammates, not just Scottie. But bottom line, I just want to say that LeBron, I think, is better than Michael is talent-wise. Let's be honest. But I completely agree with everything Scottie says. He needs his respect.
I agree too. I think when you look at that Last Dance documentary, they even put on the dead GM like the whole time. That's all they did the entire time.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, it gave me a bad taste in my mouth, because I really enjoyed those Bulls teams as a kid. I hated watching them beat the Knicks, but you had to respect the way they played basketball. Everybody knew their role. Luke Longley was no dominant, that was an era for a dominant center. And Luke Longley was just like a slob. And even Michael Jordan was making fun of him throughout the documentary. He's like, I remember there was a game against Utah. He had 11 points and 6 rebounds in the first half. I was like, yeah, that's how you get it done. And we lost, and he had 11 points and 6 rebounds. And I was like, I'm never passing you the ball again. You just shit on him on national TV on that, man. I get it's a funny story, but I didn't think I could hear one nice word out of Michael Jordan's mouth the entire time. And I don't blame that on Mike in a way. I kind of blame it on the way that I'm pretty sure there's so much commentary they had. And I bet you like they took all of this and were like, oh, we can make this, call it the last dance about how the team was falling apart and cater it to Michael Jordan, and then not realize they're going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. Because I bet you Mike and Scottie have like a decent relationship out of this. And this is definitely tarnished it now.
That's not what I heard.
I heard they hated each other for years.
I wouldn't say hate, but I heard they never really just
they
didn't click. Like they don't play golf together. That's exactly. So,
but even at that, like it was entertaining. It was a great series to watch. Don't get me wrong, but it did Scottie no justice. It made everybody feel sad for Scottie, and then you don't got to feel bad for Scottie. Scottie's a millionaire. Scottie got money. Scottie had a bad wife that was outside. Scottie got a kid that's going to the league. Scottie's got a lot of things going on for him.
His wife left him for like some kid.
Who cares, bro? Scottie get another baddie. She'll be outside too. But the point is like you said, without no Michael Jordan or without Scottie Pippen, there is no Michael Jordan, and even vice versa. Scottie needed Michael to come back because he couldn't take down the Knicks, he couldn't take down the Rockets, he couldn't take none of those guys down. And it's like a symbiotic relationship. It just sucks that it's not a storybook ending like we want. And it takes a bigger man to appreciate things. And that's when I think LeBron retires and he's out of the league. He's going to have so many memories of great players he played with. And you see his relationships. Him, D Wade, and Chris Bosh and Carmelo Anthony, they're like gay for each other. They're super gay for each other. And it's great. It's a great thing. And everybody back then is like, oh, that's not how we play basketball. Beer would punch someone in the face, and I didn't like this guy. Like, no, man.
That bothers me so much. Like, they vilify that guys get along. Like, what kind of nonsense is that?
You can be competitive and still like the guy you play against. It's respect. Yeah. I like him. He's my friend. He comes here at Thanksgiving, but I'm gonna put his ass in the dirt when we play against each other. So
mind you, Michael is playing golf with Charles Oakley and playing golf with cards with this guy and that. I mean, I don't know. It's just the way that these old timers talk about new basketball. It's like, bro, like let that shit go. We get it. You want to protect your name, you protect your era, and that's what everyone's gonna do. Yeah, back in my day, we would never do that, and that's what's gonna keep happening. In 20 years, gonna be doing the same thing with Luka Doncic. When Luka Doncic is running the league for like forever, it's like, yeah, man. Back in my day, we would never let Luka, do that little fadeaway thing. But no, it's just the whole thing is just it's annoying. It's just because the report that comes, Scottie said, Michael agreed to do the documentary when LeBron James came back from that 3-1 deficit against Golden State, because he wanted to remind the world that he was still Michael Jordan, which is what let me know, this is not a Bulls documentary. This is not. This is Michael Jordan's documentary that he's putting out there under the Bulls name. And I don't know the stuff that they were saying. I'm all right, bro. You gotta calm down. So, Sammy, I don't know what you think about this, but it's to me all of it's just Jordan.
It was an immature documentary. It was very immature.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned a lot of things that I pretty much agree with. I agree with pretty much everything that was said here about Scottie. But to one thing to note about the documentary, I think it took a lot for Michael Jordan to include that one segment on Scottie Pippen. And the fact that even if it was only like 10 minutes long, the fact that they documented Scottie Pippen's career and showed how good he was and showed how he was a point guard, ended up getting a growth spurt and becoming this, 6'8", 6'9", point forward, like that. For Jordan to include that, I think that says a lot about how much Jordan actually does respect. Now, will he ever come out and say that? Of course not. He's competitive as shit. That's how Jordan is. He'll never say anybody's good.
but did Jordan
I do think. Huh?
Are we sure that was Jordan who did that, or was that the ESPN people who did that?
I'm pretty sure he had his hands all over that thing.
Oh yeah, and like I don't want to get off topic here, but can we talk about how ridiculous it is that Dennis Rodman is in the top 75 NBA players of all time?
Yeah. Is Ben Wallace on that list?
Does anybody else think that's crazy?
Howard is on that
Isn't
list.
Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace like the same player?
Folks, what?
I said, isn't Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace like the same player?
Dennis Rodman, Ben Wallace has 4 DPOYs, right? Am I mistaken?
And he has a career average of 7.3 points per game. His career high was 11.6 points per game.
Just like Ben Wallace.
Yes, I get it. He grabbed a lot of rebounds. That was amazing. But does he belong on the 75 greatest players of all time? Does he belong on there with people that have changed the way the game is played? I don't know about that.
Okay,
but, yeah,
we're on this. Can we talk about this real quick?
Yeah,
because the way they did that list, the 50 that made it in the original list, they made sure that the same 50 came on. Mm-hmm. I thought that was the worst idea ever because they made it seem as if there couldn't be better players than those first 50. Like Dwight Howard is not on that list, and I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Because I was living in Orlando when Dwight Howard was there, and I watched firsthand. Dwight Howard is one of the greatest centers in the history of basketball.
Yeah.
And what he did in that 09 season to get to the
Shaq would admit
finals,
that too.
What's up?
I think Shaq admitted that too.
Yeah, like what he did. I mean, for him, what they did to get to that finals against Kobe, mind you, they lost.
You guys shot 40, or the Orlando Magic shot 40% from three against the Celtics. I want it to be known. That's how they won.
Yes.
They were overmatched when they got to the finals, but damn, that seemed like that was supposed to be our LeBron versus Kobe NBA finals. And they made the Cavaliers, who were the best team in the East at that time, they made the Cavaliers look not that great. LeBron was averaging 40 a game, and it didn't matter. Like Dwight was unstoppable. He was doing it on both ends of the floor. Like he was the most unstoppable player at that moment in the National Basketball Association. For him not to be on that list, and I understand they like all those Celtics players. No offense to you guys, but all those old guys who made the list from like 1970, 65. They were just on the list because they played for the best team in the country at that time.
Well, I mean, some of those guys were good. If we're talking about like Sam Jones,
some of those guys were good. But same thing with the Knicks, the 73 Knicks. Like this Dave the Boucher or something. I forgot the guy's name. Like
say his name with respect.
When I look at the stats, I'm like, bro, he averaged 16 and 9. He was never an all-pro. Like Dwight Howard has been all pros, DPOYs, all-star appearances. Finals appearances, like he carried that Magic team. And
to those guys' defenses, those lists weren't around until somebody in the 80s was like, "Oh, let's make a list of guys."
But why are those 50 that were on the original 50? Why are they automatically have to be on the list?
I think they are on there because they were that good. I mean,
all 50 of them.
I think KK is right. Like some guys, you got to omit from that because players get better, players develop, and they get better. Would you rather have Dave DeBusschere if they did a 51 best 51? Would you rather KD on that list or would you rather Dave DeBusschere on that list?
I think they would. Like, who would you take off the list? And I already know I would take Dennis Rodman off and put in Dwight Howard, but there's some of these guys I have no idea who the hell they are. Dolph Shaves.
All right. Did you know that George Mikan, who was a center, okay? He's a center. His career field goal percentage is 40%. A center against guys that were way shorter than him because at that time there were not that many tall people in the NBA. And his career field goal percentage is 40%. Like he has a total of like 8,000 points. Like they're so hung up on people's names rather than the actual production. Like, and I understand George Mikan's one of the, but all he is one of the first. That's all he is. And to me, they're so hung up on. We got to keep some of these firsts on there. But like Tracy McGrady, like what? All right. And I love Damian Lillard, but what has Damian Lillard done that Tracy McGrady didn't do?
No, Dame, I agree. Dame shouldn't be on there either.
Like and I know I love Anthony Davis, but what has Anthony Davis done to deserve to be on that list over Dwight Howard?
Most injuries. He's definitely on the injury list.
It's just, I don't know. To me, it's like that list is just, I don't know who votes. I don't know what the criteria is, but to me, it's like I don't know. I wasn't a fan of how they did the list, and I don't know.
My thing is like you got Steve Nash on there, which is, I guess that's fine, but Steve Nash was great, but he also played for four teams. In his
he's
career.
Still fourth all time in assists.
Who was it? Steve Nash?
Yeah, he's fourth all time in assists. You got to give him that.
Yeah, okay. I guess I don't have as much of a problem with. And I was looking at Damian
two-time MVP too. Two-time MVP,
back to back.
like Damian Lillard's really good, but I don't know. I don't see if I feel like he should be on this list. I don't really remember watching Gary Payton that much, but should he be on this list? Wasn't he just like a 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA, I guess?
But there's an argument for a lot of players.
If you're getting on all NBA teams, great. Like to me, that's because All-Star is fan voting, right? But all NBA appearances, that means a lot to me. So I understand if you're an 8-time, 9-time, 10-time All NBA player, fantastic. And Gary Payton is one of the greatest defensive point guards of all time. I think it's tough when we talk about players who haven't because he won his championship with Miami when it was like at the end. So we talk about guys who didn't win championships early on. It's like, okay, how good were you? But you played in the 90s, it was Jordan years. You played in the 80s, you're either Boston or the Lakers. So it's like team success doesn't really mean too much to me when it comes to those lists. But there's some individuals on there who I do question that benefited from team success. So
yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, and I don't want to get too much into the list, but the only Celtic I took umbrage with was Robert Parrish. I love Robert Parrish, but I don't know if I'd throw him on a top 75 of all time. I think it's because he played with Larry Bird, because he played with Kevin McHale, but it is what it is.
I agree.
All right, let's swing it, man. We're on basketball too much. Let's go baseball real quick since we got to wrap up the show. So baseball, I think everybody is happy except for KK a little bit, because we do want Dusty Baker to win a World Series. It has to happen. Just why'd you have to choose the Astros? It was like we need to clean up the culture here. Dusty's a nice guy and whatever. But Braves,
I do hate the Braves as well. That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that does play into it.
Yeah,
I just don't like the cheaters, man. I'm not a fan of them. And you guys are
baseball cheats.
Yeah, if you say so. All right. Anyways, Braves win. What's y'all's takeaway of that? Because I look at it like a Nationals type of thing, a Cinderella type story. You lose your best player, and you go out and get 3 decent outfielders. I would say decent, because Soler in the regular season, he ain't hitting no 250. I love the guy. I love him. But he came alive. Eddie Rosario,
he told me to keep him on my fantasy team, punk.
And then Adam Duvall, man. Adam Duvall's got a good glove and a decent bat, but he Ks a lot. And he came alive, man. All 3 of them panned out to Acuna not being there. So it's a great story for me, man. I love it. I love watching it happen. So what do y'all's takes away from the World Series?
I'm just glad that the Astros lost. I have nothing else to say about it. I'll let Sammy cook on that.
I think one of my biggest takeaways is something that we had touched on, I think, the first time we were on your show. And it was weird to me seeing these scores in the World Series and actually looking at the starting pitchers, and the starting pitchers didn't have terrible outings, but then you would see these games that would end 9-6, 7-5. And I don't know. I just think you're in a situation now. Baseball's changing, and I think baseball's changing for people. It's actually changing for the fans. And I know we poo-pooed the whole situation of, launch angle and all this stuff, but man, if people didn't watch this World Series, they should go back and watch a couple of those games, because you were in for a treat. It was exciting. You had all those home runs, it was back and forth. Those guys were hitting rockets, man. I don't know, that Soler home run was incredible. But yeah, I was really down on the whole batting average thing across the league, but seeing how the World Series panned out, I'm like, okay, this was actually really entertaining.
There's hope. There's hope for it, man. That's what I felt. Soler in my book is a 270 hitter when he wants to be, but he batted 315 or 316, whatever it was, and won MVP. So you put your mind to it, you can be that player every day. It's just
Andy, they lost their best player, right? In Acuna.
Yeah.
So I mean, what a story that the Braves made this season. I mean, think about it. Everybody talks about parity in sports. I feel like baseball is starting to get there, where there's so much parity every year about who's going to win, other than the Astros being in the league championship series. But other than that, we've had a different champion, the last 3 years now, I think, in baseball. So right now it's the most parity sport, I think. And, that's what people love. And I'm in for it.
Yeah, so it's true. It's true.
I don't think pitching wins championships anymore. I think
and
bullpen
that's sad
does.
to me.
Bullpen will.
Yeah, I thought it always did.
Not starting, but bullpen.
I know.
You gotta have.
I miss the days of like teams that went out there with aces, and it's just like, it's like mano a mano.
Like the Phillies.
No, not even that, but it's like.
That's one of my favorite teams, by the way. I'm not hating. That pitching staff was unreal.
You got to, all right. Again, this whole World Series. I was a man on an island. I was the only person cheering for the Astros because I just can't stand the Braves. The only person or family I'm happy for is Hank Aaron, because
not even Freeman.
The only family, and
that's the whitest for a white man too.
I'm only happy for Hank Aaron's family, and that because to me they dedicated it to that situation. So that's fine. Outside of that, again, everyone in baseball cheats, man. They just got caught, so I don't really care about that whole thing.
What happened with Hank Aaron?
He passed away.
Oh, that he died. Okay, I thought there was like some big deal, like something else happened. Okay,
Now to me, he's one of the good guys in baseball, and. That was all. Outside of that, I can give two shits about the Braves, but
and MLB The Show too. One of the best cards.
I haven't played a baseball game in so long. Like,
if you play the show, you'll be hooked.
These guys are being on it. I'm incredibly hooked.
You know what? I'm hooked on NHL. NHL is fun
too.
Yeah,
super fun.
But the show is really fun. Trust me. We're in the chat too. I don't even know two of the guys in the chat.
I don't know other guys, yeah.
People leave and come into the chat too. It's insane.
Revolving door.
So you know how I feel right now about the Yankees move. We decided to keep homeboy. I told you they got to fire him. That's the biggest thing. Beginning of the season, I know you got on the wagon, but I told you were like, do you think the Red Sox are going to be good? I told you they were going to be good, Sammy. I did. I remember that. Are the Red Sox, are they still good? Are they still really good? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think so. They're in really good shape. I'm really impressed with some of the things Chaim Bloom has done. Now our farm is not completely trash, and we also competed for a playoffs, which I don't think he expected, but he was probably sitting there like, oh, okay. Couple additions we have to hold on to this offseason. I'm really interested to see how all the contracts work out. I'm really going to be interested to see, if we make any bullpen moves. I think that's going to be the most important thing. But we have a lot of good contracts. We got a lot of people under team control. Now, can we keep Schwarber and JD Martinez? Can we give Devers an extension as well? Those are the three things that I'm going to really be looking at.
We need to keep Devers. That's like the biggest thing that we need right now is Devers and Bogarts to stay there for their careers.
What about starting pitching? Starting pitching?
We definitely need some starting pitching. Hopefully that comes in either free agency, but I just don't.
No, there's nothing in free agency right now.
We need a middle.
Marcus Stroman. That's about it.
We need a middle infielder too.
That's all I'd pay for.
I would take Robbie, but
Robbie.
He's not leaving. They have nothing else in Toronto. They're going to lock him up.
What about middle infielders? I think that middle infield is another place that we can improve on. But our biggest thing right now is bullpen. The starting pitcher we can get by. Like Sammy said, I don't think starting pitching matters as much as it used to. Bullpen is, and not just
your starting pitching is serviceable, which the Red Sox starting pitching actually was pretty serviceable this year.
Not bad.
You can make it.
Yeah, to be able to take you 5. If he can't take you 5, this is a new age of baseball. At least he's got to go 4 now. If he can't get you to line up once or twice,
that's how Cora coached all year.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Cora, he's also a cheater, but you guys don't want to acknowledge that.
Oh, he doesn't.
Don't want to acknowledge that.
He was cleared. They
found nothing of merit.
He was cleared and
he was
fired.
An assistant coach. He didn't.
He was only fired because he was on the staff that got caught.
Oh, okay.
And they brought him back to cheat some more.
Okay.
Funny he won a World Series right after that. So
funny enough.
Never cheated. The Flake all over again.
suck him off, man. Just suck him off. All right, let's wrap up the show. Let's do our pick'ems. That's what we're doing now, and we'll get you guys involved in it too, because why not? Of course. I got 5 games. I want to do the Jets versus the Colts tonight, but they're playing right now, and that the stat you sent me on Jonathan Taylor is gonna happen.
Yep.
So I hope to bet on it.
Got the boost. I got the boost, baby.
Listen, before we even get into it, so I don't know if you guys know, but if you're living in the state of Florida, Hard Rock Sportsbook gambling is legal now here in the state of Florida. I downloaded the app, but I am scared as hell to make my first bet because I don't want to become a degenerate. I don't want to become a degenerate gambler, but I'm gonna get your guys' advice when I decide to make my first bet. So off the air, I'm gonna ask you guys what I want to start tapping into. But
go to the OKC Lakers game. It hasn't started yet, but bet on that one.
I've already made like 17 bets.
Damn.
Since it's out.
It's been like less than a week.
I'm up in it too. They did like a free $100 for your first bet. That's
I saw that.
Yeah, they got me real good.
I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely scared.
The odds boost? Did we all do the odds boost? The Jonathan Taylor one?
I didn't do it.
I haven't.
I'm on it right now.
Anything against the Jets, take that bet. Anything. Doesn't matter. If the ref trips and falls, take it. It's gonna happen.
I even bet on hockey yesterday. I thought I was this close. It was a boost one. It was the Columbus Blue Jackets and St. Louis Blues had to win. This close.
I'm gonna start getting into the hockey. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do hockey betting because because when it comes to basketball and football, I have such emotional investments in all these other teams. When it comes to hockey, I only care about the Lightning. Outside of that, I don't have like an emotional connection or attachment to any other team. So it'll be easier for me to make those bets. So that is what I want to get into.
Well, the NBA is going to help you with the spread. So if you're going to do betting on spreads and stuff, the NBA you'd know like for example, the one I just told you.
with the NBA.
Like the Lakers are favored by 13.5 against OKC tonight. The Lakers haven't beaten anybody by more than 8
I would
points.
definitely take the under there.
Take that.
All right, let's go on to the pick'ems. First game we got New England versus Carolina. You want me to go first? Or you want to go first, Kicker? You want to let them? You guys go first. You guys go first.
You guys got. Yeah.
Is this with the spread or just who's going to win?
Straight
just
up.
to win. You can give us a score.
It's New England.
Okay. Sammy.
31-14, New England.
Oh, and we got a score, son.
What's your score, Vic?
Oh, I got to put score in there. Okay. Let's say 21-10.
They play the Panthers. Is that right?
Yep.
All depends on if Darnold's there too.
Is it in Foxborough or is it in Carolina?
It's in Carolina.
Okay, it'll be a little bit closer. I got the Pats though, for sure. Because Sam Darnold has gotten his ass kicked by Bill Belichick a number of times. So give me the Pats. You said 30. They're not scoring no damn 31. I'm sorry. Give me 20. Give me 24 to 8. Yeah, 17.
Okay.
Pats.
I got 17-14 Pats. So leaving it at that.
It's fair.
Falk, the best kicker in the league right now. So
I hope he scores every single one of those points.
All right, we got Cleveland versus Cincinnati, Vic's closet team in Cincy.
Oh, you already know my pick. It's Cincy. At Cincy, it's going to be that one's going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to say 30 to 17.
Okay, you think Cleveland's that bad? Wow.
I got Cincy 34-30.
They lost. The Steelers are awful. And they lost to the Steelers.
I agree. So I don't think OBJ is going to be on the field on Sunday, which I think bodes well for Cleveland. And I think Cincinnati is reverting back to what I think they are. And I think this is Baker Mayfield. Just watch that tape about him, about how much he sucks. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Cleveland. I got to take Cleveland on this one. I say it's 28-17. No, 28-20. Cleveland.
All right. I say the Browns defense has been exposed all year. We thought they were good. They're not that good. It's just Myles Garrett is good. That's it. Myles Garrett's a monster. And I think
spread is 2, by the way.
I think Joe Burrow losing to the Jets is like really fucked with his head. So
I think Cleveland losing to Pittsburgh is fucking with his head too. But okay,
yeah, that's a good divisional game. It's just Joe Burrow's been riding a high wave all season, and then the Jets come and do what the Jets do out of nowhere.
At Cincy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cincy. I'm gonna say 28-20 is what I'm gonna say.
One is the loneliest number. I'm happy to be the lone wolf on here.
I say your score, but on Cincy's favorite. So
that's cool.
All right.
That's cool.
All right, Minnesota versus Baltimore.
I got Baltimore. I mean, I just put it out there. Baltimore, 31 to give me like 34. Give me 34-20.
I also have Baltimore. I'm gonna go a little bit higher here. I'm gonna say 28 to I think it's gonna be a close game. Let's say 28-25.
I got Minnesota with the upset. I got it 27-24.
Man, I want to go Minnesota too, but I hate rooting against Lamar. That's our boy right now, so I can't do it. I'm gonna stick with
trap game.
I could think Minnesota could pull it off, though. I really do.
Could, but 2 words: Cooper Rush.
If
Cooper Rush could beat this damn Minnesota Vikings, I'm sorry.
It's also Kirk Cousins too, man. You like that, right?
You like it, and it's still Cooper Rush.
I'm gonna say 24-18 is what I'm gonna say.
That's a 6-point spread. Good call.
Green, boy looks at some things sometimes. I listen to Townie Sports every now and then. Green Bay minus Aaron Rodgers versus Kansas City. Headache in Kansas City in Arrowhead.
This is probably the toughest one.
That is the toughest one.
Casey's favored by 7 right now.
They went from 1 point to 7, right?
Yeah, because of Aaron being out.
Yeah.
I say I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win, but the Packers to cover. The Packers are another great against the spread team at 7-1. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I hate picking numbers out of my head like immediately. Let's see. I'm gonna go 24-21. Chiefs.
I'm in the same boat. I got the Chiefs winning, but I think the Packers will cover that 7. I think it's going to be a close game because Kansas City can't stop anybody. And I think if any game there was for Jordan Love to get comfortable, it's a game against Kansas City's terrible secondary. Right. So I'm going to go, it's a high scoring game, but I think you can't keep up with KC there since Aaron Rodgers is not playing and can't really control the tempo. So 34-31 KC.
Do you guys know what the bet for like Aaron Jones yards is going to be?
Look it up.
Because I think they're going to run the hell out of Aaron Jones in this game, which is what's going to keep the game close. So I do think the Packers definitely cover. And I had the same exact score as you, Vic.
62.5.
He's going way over that. I got a 24-21 as well.
Where are you seeing that? You see that on the app, Sammy?
Yeah.
Where's that on the app?
So if you go to a game, pick a game.
We are not sponsored by the Hard Rock, by the way. But if
we are not sponsored by the Hard Rock, but damn,
pick a game.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, dude, I had no idea that was there. Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, this is new. I like that. Oh, you have the dark mode? I gotta get that dark mode.
Everybody's getting divorced. Everybody's gonna hate a divorce at the end of the day. So
That's gonna kill me.
I'm saying in this game, Aaron's not there. He's not managing the team. He can't be there because he's got COVID, obviously. And I see we're gonna get like a last year Patrick Mahomes. I feel like it's gonna be I don't want to say a bloodbath, but I think we're gonna see a weird game. And I say 28-14 is what I think is gonna happen.
KC,
of course, bro.
Wow, they really have at 62.5 for Aaron Jones rushing yards.
You're thinking they're covering, huh?
That because at the end of the day, what we learned against that Chiefs that Cardinals game, Matt LaFleur knows what the hell he's doing. He's a good coach. he's a solid coach. So
is he a solid
did we get it, Vic? Did we get it?
What? No, Neesmith hit the 3.
Oh.
Sorry. Is he a good coach, or is Aaron Rodgers just that bad of a man?
No, that was coach of the year kind of coaching last week. So, yeah.
All right, last game we got.
Yeah.
Last game we got Arizona versus San Fran.
That's tough.
Arizona versus San Fran. Oh, this is for me. This is a definitely an Arizona game here. I think Kyler Murray comes back with revenge here. Surprisingly, San Francisco is favored by 1.5. It's crazy. You automatically get 3 points for being the home team. So really, the Cardinals are the favorite in the game. But I will take the Cardinals. I will take them to cover. I think it's a big win for the Cardinals. I'm going to say 30 to 10. I think I said that score already, but I'm going to say it again, 30-10.
For me, I would I have Kyler Murray on my fantasy team, and he hasn't practiced all week. And if he doesn't practice tomorrow, that means Vegas knows that this injury, there's probably something there with the injury, hence why the 49ers are still favorited. I am a little worried about that game, honestly, because I want to say the Cardinals are going to win, but there's the bone in my body that has I'm going to just pick the 49ers to win the game, only because I'm not 100, because DeAndre Hopkins has a hamstring issue, and Kyler Murray is going through the same thing he went through last year, and if he's not 100%, they're going to get after him, so I'm going to pick the 49ers in this game. It's going to be a close one. I got to like 20, a weird score, like 22-20, like a weird kind of game. So that's where I got it.
Does anybody know who the backup for the Cardinals is?
Colt McCoy.
Oh, he's still in the league. Jesus.
Colt McCoy. Yeah.
Tell me what you got.
I'm looking through these scores here, trying to give myself a reason to pick the 49ers.
It's tough, right?
I can't find one. They don't have any like pretty significant victories for me to think, okay, they can do it. I mean, they beat the Bears. Who else have they beat? They beat the Eagles. They beat the Lions. I mean, I guess they're a team that beats bad teams, but I still think they're a bad team.
They should have beat the Packers.
Yeah, I mean,
but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man.
Yeah. I'm still taking the Cardinals here, but I think it's going to be close, and I'm only going to pick a close score because I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be back or not, and I'm going to actually do it lower than some of my other scores, so I'll probably do this 20-13.
Okay, that's like what I got. I got Arizona 2014. I only doing that because I want to pick San Fran, but KK gets me too good, so I have to go against the grain on this one.
There you go.
So we have to make it competition for the scores at the end. It can't be this. We're very in sync too much, and I hate that, but it's good too. It does. It makes us have a good podcast. So let's wrap things up. Thank you guys once again for coming on. You're definitely our favorite people to have on here. It's like around the horn. We don't have the right guys on here for that, but regardless, you're always here.
I gotta mute you all the time.
But I mean, pleasure once again. Plug yourself. This is your moment to talk. So,
Vic, you want to go? You want me to do it?
Yeah, Sammy, you're the best at it.
All right, yeah, you can find us on YouTube at House of Fandom. We are Townie Sports. You can also find us on Instagram at Townie_sports. And you can also find us on TikTok, Townie Sports Pod. We plug all the different takes and picks that we have. We even plugged you guys on an episode we were on with you where I called that Mac Jones would be the starting quarterback, among other things that me and Vic are really good at calling. But no, I'm just playing. But yeah, that's where you can find us.
TikTok, wow.
TikTok. I can't do it yet. Can't do it.
I'm still trying to catch up to it. It's tough. It's tough.
Who's the best TikTok dancer between you two?
No, I don't.
Vic floss. I can see Vic flossing all day.
Sammy,
Vic's a good dancer, though.
Yeah.
What do you expect, man?
When I drink, yeah, I guess
he gets a medalla light in him, and he doesn't know how to act anymore, man.
Oh no, Jaylen Brown the rest of the game.
It hurts to see it. All right. As for us, you can find us on Twitter at fair_weather_pod, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the Fair Weather Podcast. Just search that. You'll be able to find us there. And wherever you subscribe or listen to podcasts, just search the Fair Weather Podcast. We'll be there as well. Once again, guys, always a pleasure. Could talk sports for 5-6 hours. In case nobody knows, Sammy is training for the Boston Marathon, so he's slowly getting skinnier and skinnier and skinnier just to look like all those Ethiopians that win every year. So gotta blend in.
Also, and have KK on our podcast too, by the way.
I'm coming soon. Give me whenever that next invite comes, I'm there. And also, we're also on Meta, not Facebook. We're on Meta now. So the Metaverse, we're there. So
Meta world peace,
and Metaverse, and all that stuff. All right, peace.